You have 77 counties in Oklahoma. I can put reports in them in 66 counties.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was?
I'd say it was a person or somebody really big. But he's all in black.
Happy New Year from Squatch Ranger Files. I'm really excited about today's episode, guys. Number one, I'm using a brand new condenser microphone. So if you like what you hear, go ahead and leave me a positive comment in the comments of this video. Also, you can become a patron. Go ahead and go to patreon.com and search for The Squatch Ranger. I'm a Bigfoot researcher and entertainer based in Northeast Oklahoma. I attend a couple Bigfoot expeditions a year, mostly in Southeast Oklahoma, and I shoot video footage for the Native Oklahoma Bigfoot Research Organization. New field equipment is always a bonus when bringing my audience a peek into my latest adventure. Also, I collect Bigfoot reports from witnesses all over the state of Oklahoma and beyond. Sharing these reports through my podcast show, Squatch Ranger Files, is a great way for me to inform my audience that Bigfoot sightings continue to occur. A traveling budget to reach these witnesses would be a helpful tool for me to continue my journey. Please join my search. Hey guys, to keep these videos coming, it really is a big help if you can help support me on patreon.com. Also, one final reminder, if you go to the Squatch Ranger Facebook page, click on the Shop Now button, and you can view all of our Bigfoot products that we offer. Okay, it's now time to start Squatch Ranger Files, Episode 18. Number 1. Trucker sees Bigfoot walking near Orchard. 1996. In Yakima County, Washington. Class A, daytime sighting. 15 minutes northwest of Yakima, Washington. 3:30 p.m. June. I was, at that time, driving for a long-haul trucking company for about a year and had been traveling the 48 states, delivering apples to tires. I had just left Yakima with a load of apples and was headed to Seattle to drop them off and pick up another load of something from there. I headed north out of Yakima, along with 4 other trucks, not the same company as mine, just going that way. Beautiful sunny day. As usual, there was the normal CB chatter back and forth, mostly from the other 4 trucks. We went up a small grade and proceeded down a slight downhill to the right. One of the guys in the front yelled out, "Holy crap! I almost ran over him!" Of course, we were all curious about what happened, and I started looking around. To the right was a small orchard that was in between 2 small hills. In the middle of the trees, walking away, was a very black, very stocky, hair-covered, 2-legged Squatch. A few minutes later, I saw one of the lead trucks pull off the road into a wide parking area. I pulled off as well and got out and went over to his truck and hopped up on the steps. He was a very ghostly shade of white and was shaking all over. Apparently, we had seen the same thing. Number 2. Man sees creature while on Alaskan cruise. 2015. In Borough of Skagway, Alaska. Class A, daytime sighting. I was on an Alaskan cruise a couple of years ago and was leaving Skagway. I had my binoculars out scanning snow on the mountains as we passed them. leaving. I saw a large brownish, red-colored figure that looked exactly what people describe Bigfoot as looking like. Looked like it was laying in the snow. I jokingly commented to my wife that Bigfoot was up on the mountain, taking a nap in the snow. As soon as I said that, the figure started moving around and buried itself in the snow. I was taken back a little. It left me scratching my head. My question is, if anybody has ever reported witnessing this kind of behavior before. It was uncharacteristically warm that summer. Follow-up investigators report. Skagway is a compact city in southeast Alaska, set along the popular cruise route, the Inside Passage. It's home to Gold Rush-era buildings, now preserved as part of the Klondike Gold Rush National Historical Park. The White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad runs vintage locomotives past the famously steep Chilkoot Trail and offers sweeping mountain views during its climb toward Canada. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the borough has a total area of 464 square miles, of which 452 square miles is land and 12 square miles is water. It is currently the smallest borough in Alaska, having taken the title away from Bristol Bay Borough at its creation. Native wildlife in the area include bald eagles, bears, harbor seals, and harbor porpoises. Tourists are recommended to scan the ridges above the Klondike Highway for mountain goats with binoculars. These and other wildlife viewing opportunities await in and near the community of Skagway. Skagway has the driest climate of any community in southeast Alaska, with an annual precipitation of 29 inches, along with all the typical habitats of the region, including spruce, hemlock forest, and alpine. Skagway has pine forest, which is highly unusual in this temperate rainforest region. In my investigating experience, I have not collected any other Bigfoot reports documenting this type of behavior in the snow. The eyewitness is very curious if there is anyone else out there with a similar report, reporting a Bigfoot camouflaging itself with its surroundings, in this case, the snow. If so, please submit your encounter to squatchranger@gmail.com. Number 3. Woman hears branches breaking on newly purchased property. 2015 in Izard County, Arkansas. Class B, wood knocks, vocalizations, and heavy footsteps. I left my home near Pottsboro, Texas, early Sunday evening, November 1st, to go walk around our new property in Horseshoe Bend, Arkansas, and place some line markers. Got there in the wee hours of Monday, November 2nd. There's a ditch along both sides of the road, but a bit more room to put my car on the opposite side from our place, which is only about half an acre. So that's where I parked, facing south, so our land was on my left. I got a little sleep before the sun came up. I'd been there about an hour, with both front windows cracked open about 2 inches, when, on my left, I heard what sounded like a tree being pushed over with a big noise. Moments later, I heard a loud wood knock, followed in less than 30 seconds by another, coming from approximately the same area, my little plot of land, but still quite close. About 10 minutes after that, there was another, closer but softer knock, directly to my left. It sounded close enough to have been just out of sight in the trees on my land. I leaned my seat back so I'd be less visible, but still be able to see out. The car I'd taken on this trip was new to me and and has tint on the windows, which I hate, as it hindered my view. I consider myself a generally fearless person, but am embarrassed to say I was a little spooked when a couple of minutes later I heard branches and brush breaking in our woods, followed by 3 heavy, scuffling footsteps, about a full second and a half apart, in the road behind and to my left. I tried to see through my darkened glass and mirror, but could not. Considered opening more windows, but chickened out. I occasionally get a frog in my throat, and when I cleared my throat, there was immediately a very deep sound of clearing a throat, much like I'd done, but very deep and grunty, if I can make up a word for it. A minute later, I had to clear my throat again, and again was imitated in the same way, but this time it was much closer. Sounded like it was above me as much as behind and to my left. I suspect this is because who or what did it was very tall. I had to pee, but was afraid to get out of the car to find a spot. That's when I started the car and left, with my stupid tail between my legs. Not happy with myself about this. There's a golf course close by, and also a park with a nice fishing pier on Saturday nearby Crown Lake, and I knew there were some lights there. A sheriff deputy happened to be parked near the park entrance, so followed me in to see who I was. A nice older gentleman. I told him I had property I'd been parked by but got spooked away, and asked if it was okay if I park here until it gets light, to which he said yes. He did not ask what had spooked me, so I said nothing more about it. It was 5:30 by now. Later, when the sun was up, I went back, parked around the corner where there was no ditch. My property is third lot from this corner, and the back of it has, north to south, a wide treeless path down which a row of telephone, power poles, and lines go. I did find and photograph one footprint in the damp clay ground, but it's not a good photo as there's leaves and rock all around, too. It was barely bigger than my woman's size 9 shoe. I don't think this is a creature that could push over a tree. I located the tree that had indeed been pushed over. It was young and alive, with gold brown leaves due to the season. Not huge, but perhaps 20 feet tall, and I could not close my fingers around its trunk with both hands. A big stick about 4 feet long and slightly bigger around than the fat end of a baseball bat had been set neatly and perfectly horizontal on the root ball. I photographed this, and then took the stick and stood it up vertically plumb against the root ball, and also photographed that. I commenced to marking my property lines with bright pink duct tape, and left to go visit my mom in Springfield, Missouri. I left her house early next day and came back to Horseshoe Bend, as I had left something behind that I need to pick up before going home. Went back to the property to see if the root ball stick had been moved, but it had not, and I found no more tracks. I did notice a very tall tree that had been long dead that was unnaturally affixed horizontally, about 3.5 feet above ground, between 2 other trees that were very close together, growing in a tight V. The other end was also held up by another tree. There is no stump, old or otherwise, in the immediate vicinity where the horizontal tree could have just fallen that way. Need to tell you, I am a believer. I saw a Sasquatch with my brother when we were teenagers on Mount Evans in Colorado, and have maintained a fascination with them since. So this has been my experience, and I believe there is more than one living around the Crown Lake area. Thank you for your interest in the story. Not something I was telling many people at first, mostly because I was so uncharacteristically cowardly.